Yep, it's that time again.
Fatality.
Yet another forgettable season for Washington. There aren't many more pathetic franchises than the Washington Redskins, or Commanders, or football team, or communists, or whatever the hell you want to call them. We're talking years upon years upon years of bad free agent signings, drafting, and executive decisions, leading to gross incompetence on a football field. But the thing is, it wasn't always like that. So how did it get to this point? Well, let's take a look back to a time when they were actually blessed by the football gods, instead of being constantly shat on. Let's take a look back to a time that we ironically use against them. Let's take a look back to the year 1991. The Washington Redskins had just won the Super Bowl, demolishing the Buffalo Bills. They are on top of the world. Legend has it that this would be the last time Washington would win anything. So what the hell happened? Let's continue. On to the next year, 1992. They didn't look as much like a Super Bowl team like they did the previous year, but they were still knocking on the door, and would lose to the 49ers in the second round. I mean, it was what it was. You can't win every year. 1993. What's that? Joe Gibbs is retiring? Well, you hired his defensive coordinator, who's got some familiarity, so you might be fine. Oh, look! You start the 93 season by destroying the defending Super Bowl champion Cowboys. And then you would lose your next 6. And you would only win 3 more games for the rest of the year. 1994. This is the year worth discussing. We rag on them for 1991, but 1994 is the year worthy of recognition, because this was to be their new golden age. I mean, they got the offensive coordinator from the Super Bowl champion Cowboys as their next head coach. They got their quarterback of the future in Heath Shuler. Truly, they would be on their way back to the promised land. And they would get shit-stomped in their home opener by the Seahawks. Great start. But it's just one game, and they're a new offense, they're a new staff. That was a fluke. And then they would not win a single home game for the remainder of the season. But it's just one season. The football gods can't shit on them every single year. Right?
Wrong!
Injury gate. Gross incompetence by team doctors. First round pick decides to be a fucking idiot. Beats up teammate in training camp. First round pick decides to be a fucking idiot. Brags about his stats after a loss. First round pick decides to be RG3. Was doomed from the start and was made out to look like a fucking idiot.
Fell to the Redskins, sorriest team of the NFC.
Domestic abuse. More domestic abuse. Child abuse. Former Super Bowl winning quarterback is accused of, you guessed it, domestic abuse.
Go nuts.
Signing aging, banged up workhorse Sean Alexander to get 11 carries. 11. A revolving carousel of free agents, general managers, and coaches. Carson Wentz, oh wait, he re-injured himself walking to the podium. Never mind. And that's some of the more heinous stuff from Washington over the years. Let's take a look at some of the drafting, shall we? Let's draft a quarterback and let him get completely pummeled and destroy his confidence. Make him so forgettable that fans cheer him being injured. A wide receiver that perfectly epitomizes the Skins. 0 fucks given. Andre Johnson, no, not that one. Let's draft another promising wide receiver. We will be incredibly shocked to find out that he is nowhere near as good as advertised. Let's draft a corner. We have no other holes on this team. And let's trade next year's pick for another quarterback. Oh, Jason, you were fucked the moment you put on a Redskins jersey. Some of the best first-round picks Washington has ever made. No one. A truly elite offensive tackle. Let's piss him off to the point where he demands a trade. Here's an elite edge rusher. Let's waste his career. Robert Griffin the fucking third. It is truly a sight to behold. Like a horrific car crash. What's that? You traded the first round picks of the next 3 years to move up to get him? Two head cases for the price of one? Sold! Let's draft an Ohio State quarterback. That won't backfire at all. What's that? He has maturity issues and may not actually care about winning? Fuck. This team has been managed by hogwashes. Some of the players have been major hogwashes. And they make stubborn, boneheaded decisions that are usually made by hogwashes. They are, as a collective, a gigantic hogwash. When they try to cheat, they're unbelievably incompetent. This organization is where players and coaches go to die. It has become so radioactive, you would mistake this place for Chernobyl. And my thing about it is, I don't believe this is ending soon. Why? Very simple. You already know the answer to that. This man. Say what you will about Jerry Jones, at least that guy saw a dynasty in the 90s. What has Snyder accomplished? Scandals and corruption. He wanted to first come in guns a-blazing and change everything. And he did. Nearly every single year. On top of the bad, over-the-hill aging free agents that he signed to ridiculous contracts, the man has been through more head coaches during his tenure than the Philadelphia Eagles have in 30 years. In fact, he's been through more coaches than the Dallas Cowboys have their entire existence. But with some of the things the team has actually been able to accomplish in spite of their disappointment, their yearly disappointment, maybe it'll become an archive of what was. It may just be time that they start winning. It might just be time that we look at Washington as more than just a recurring punchline, that their once incredible rivalries with the Eagles and Cowboys can actually be competitive again, and maybe create another massive rivalry with the New York Giants. Maybe a well-run Washington football team may be what the league needs. Maybe not. I mean, if an Uncle Fester-looking bumbling idiot like John Fetterman can become a U.S. Senator, then even Washington can be a good football team. Or the football guys will continue to use them as their personal toilet. And I, as an Eagles fan, would be perfectly fine with that.
Look at that! Oh, look at that! Oh, my son! Hey!